Welcome back to Market Day Report. Let's get the week started as we're open for trade. And that's on the heels of what was really a pretty good overnight session. Let's start with the corn market and a rally, again, across the board, nearly everything higher. December corn opens 409 3/4, up 8, make it 410, up 8 1/4 cents. Deferred 6 to 8 cents higher as well. What about the soybean trade? Look at that. Not just double digits, but double digits. 22 3/4 cents higher on the November. 10.35 now. It's 23 cents higher. And the rally continues with January at 10.51 3/4, up 22 1/4. So who let the horses out? Maybe Tommy Grisafi will tell us in a moment. December wheat, 583 1/4 in Chicago, up 14 3/4, now 16 higher. And July, a very active trade this morning, 617 1/2, up 13 3/4. Kansas City wheat, 17 higher on the D's at 581. New crop July, 605 3/4, up 15 1/2. Spring wheat, Minneapolis, December 616 3/4, up 8 3/4. And the cotton market was higher in the overnight session and higher this morning, 73.94, up 42. I kind of feel like a play-by-play guy trying to call a touchdown. Tommy Grisafi in the end zone with advanced trading. What's happening?
Well, wonderful day to see this board up like this. We do have weather happening not only here in the U.S., but around the world. And markets were called a little lower last night. They didn't do it. They opened up unchanged and just started to rally. We had some nice exports this morning. Looked like China coming in buying 3-4 more boats of beans. We'll see how much they keep doing it. As you know, they were way behind on buying. Now they're catching up. Overall strength, the funds are still short. And it looks like, if I had to guess, they are covering right into the start of harvest. As Jeff said, in weather, there's going to be a real big opportunity here to harvest next few weeks. Looks like all systems go. News from up north, they're still doing okay, no frost. So it looks like we're growing the crop. But with that, sometimes it's just okay for the markets to go up, my friend.
And, I'm also kind of wondering here, what about, and you touched on this, but we get the commitment of traders report in last week, but really that was what, through Tuesday, maybe Wednesday?
Yeah, always behind. You kind of see like, oh, maybe they're buying more. We closed on the dead lows in May of the markets on Friday, so that maybe made people think that we were going to have a lot of harvest pressure. We probably still will have harvest pressure. We're seeing a really poor cash market as far as that basis. So sure, corn's up 9, but if they widen your basis by a nickel today, you're not really gaining too much speed. So I think when you look at the futures market, you'll be excited. But when you look at the cash market, you'll be like, you know what, nothing really changed. One quick note to add. We did have a big week last week in cotton, and all eyes were on cotton, and wasn't quite sure why it was rallying as much as it did, but it was impressive. Second thing to add, soybeans have been just coiling the last 10, 12 days, just within the same range. Here we break out to the upside a little bit. Let's see if corn could break out above 415. Could be very interesting week technically if we have harvest and continue to rally, Tony.
Yeah, we often talk about Brazil being a major competitor to the U.S. when it comes to corn and especially soybeans, but it's the same case with Brazil and cotton. And we even hear that maybe the next crop that they take over in their world domination could be sorghum. We don't trade sorghum, though, so not really something we worry about here in the markets, but we have to keep an eye on Brazil, the bottom line.
Absolutely. Real quick about that Brazil. One other market that performed well, we very seldom talk about it on the show, was sugar. Maybe when we come back from break, we could look at sugar. But sugar had an absolutely great week last week, one of the best weeks in years. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, and now it looks like coffee could be ready to rally as well on the heels of those fires in Brazil. We'll take a break, come back, and maybe we can bring up sugar along with our livestock markets. Tommy Grisafi's hanging around. Hope you will too. Market Day Report continues after this. So it's Market Day Report. We're watching a rally in the row crops. Will we see the same type rally in the livestock markets? Well, we're watching it right now. Live cattle futures are up over $1 at 183.52. Make it $1.07 now, 183.55. And the December live cattle contract, 183.97 is 77 higher. What about the feeders? Well, we're higher there, up a couple of pennies on September, but October most active at 244.42. That's 52 higher. And the hog trade, again, we have a quarterly hogs and pigs report set to come out on Thursday. October down 30, 81.92, but all others on that rally wagon as well. December 74.40, that's up 17 cents. Let's bring back in Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading. And Tommy, we could talk the cattle on feed, but I hate to not give you the chance to talk about sugar. And sugar prices, again, have been rallying. Pretty big week last week.
Yeah, sugar's a global market, and our farmers up in North Dakota, they'll be starting the sugar campaign here October 1st. We do produce a lot of sugar here, but from a world level, you got to look at South America. You got to look all over the world and watch that sugar market. One thing we started to touch on last week when I was in studio with you was with this half-point rate cut, is there talk or are Wall Street traders gunning for another little spur in inflation? I was watching the news shows this morning. They said we've cut a half and they want to go another half. That could spark inflation. One of the folks on the show said, why didn't we wait to cut when we needed it? Now we're cutting. These markets really looking like commodities are the leader today, my friend.
Yeah, I'm looking again at the sugar market, 22.85 on the October as it trades up 19. You know, one other that I want to throw in since we're talking about the outside markets is the coffee market, which is expected to rally now, again, based upon the wildfires in Brazil that have taken out, we're not quite sure how many acres of coffee. And when you take out coffee, it's not like just wiping out a one-year crop. You're taking out multiple years. So coffee prices on the rally now with December trading near the high 261.10 up 10.35. Any additional thoughts as we close this out and kind of wrap things up on the livestock side? Anything you want to watch this week?
Well, I guess we got to really take 5-10 minutes this week and just go through every single commodity and say, did something change? Maybe the fundamentals are bearish, but did the money flow come in? I'm super excited to see, are the funds really covering? And of course, we're going to have a lot of volatility, not only coming into the election, but after the election. So stay tuned. Commodities are in play, my friend.
Tommy Grisafi's with Advanced Trading. Always enjoy Tommy here.